Me fambulem na salon. Ecko Media TV don't come for unify, sensitize, and inform salon people. Me fambulem una aduo, una cabo and kusheo. Ecko Media online TV don't come ya so for we allo. We dey connect every voice and it's highway you dey let na home and a brother. Bringing development. Ecko Media we strive for the best. We unify, sensitize, and inform everyone. Hey, we get political discussions, entertainment and sports if we get the money sessions, Ecko morning show. We dey bring am to you. Ecko Media TV for development, nomination. Independent media house. We dey so and we dey strong. Ecko Media TV for development, nomination. Elect you dey home and abroad. We dey so and we dey strong. We dey so for talk about wetin dey happen. Now we country salon. We dey give you the news. Wait for the use. We also dey talk about wetin dey happen. Now the media defeating the lies of the fake people. Religious discussions, newspaper review, we go bring all the hot topics where you want for no na Ecko Media. Ecko Media TV for development, nomination. Independent media house. We dey so and we dey strong. Ecko Media TV for development, nomination. Elect you dey home and abroad. We dey so and we dey strong. Me fambulem. If you want for continue for enjoy Ecko Media TV, you go visit we on the social media handles them. We dey on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And same way so you go visit we on we website at www.eckomedia.org. We dey give you the news. Wait for the use. We unify sensitive.
Indeed, we give the news, wait for the youth, guide and sensitize. This na Ecko Media. Good morning and welcome to the second edition of the program, Ecko Morning Show. With me, we Dana the seats, Elizabeth Kefwe Gembe. Well, today we dey talk about media pollution. We don't see how the media don't they turn upside down. Sometimes it's not just about politics. If finally we dey deviate from politics more, waiting they regulate we can sit down at this seat, waking dinner then cheer, waking they talk to una, where una they get trust in. Some media houses then they some people then religiously they follow them. Media houses and there's some people that religiously they believe. I like na lie them put say then they believe them. So this morning we'll go for the opportunity for get the IMC, the executive secretary, when Khalil Kalon, he go come and talk to we about the pollute where the media don't pollute. He go answer some questions then, and the individuals where they secretly say things were not right, or the one where they religiously follow media houses, then self go be informed and then go know the truth of how the media landscape for day, how it day and the way forward to Sierra Leone. Well, this now the program where they come to you Monday through Friday through we Facebook, YouTube, and we other social media handles then. You within your house, be part of the program. This now Ecko Morning Show. When I don't they see how Facebook, when since we changed, Facebook has been very, very ungenerous to us. Trust me, guys. Sometimes when I look at the old us with the background and the new us now, sometimes they give us a headache. But then that's what then they do always. If you decide for do one alteration to yourself, then they close you reach for give you that consistency. Okay, this person they do they talk on this, they do interviews. Let we see if they continue. So when we been there from the old us to the recently changed from us, we were again tagger. But we consistently do them, and by the time the one open will reach, people then begin to cause some hala trouble out there. We give it another tag. Now we don't change to this new us, and this new us also, they don't lock her. Wait till they try for say. My brothers and sisters, if you are fortunate to come through or come across this post, this broadcast, all you need to do, just help us share. If this was the name they be born with, by now we would have passed that. But you know, we don't change this name, and you know, they resonate well with Facebook, because then they look at it and say maybe na somebody thief we page, or na scam, or na, you know, misrepresentation. Till now we other page then still the find way for verify for let be changed. Then we profile let be changed from Unity Broadcasting to that of Ecko Media. So when I go still see say Unity Broadcasting they show on the verified profile, but then you know they show on the page where we they use. So if you they come across this post, please just be sure and be generous to us. Don't be too hard on us. We know say maybe you where they watch now, we not don't meet your expectations yet. The one that we been they watch before, then we don't they meet their expectation. But unfortunately, they know they see we post right now, because Facebook don't lock, they don't not we. But we'll keep trying until we get to where we want to be, and definitely we will. So now, congratulations to H.E. Julius Maada. Well, today now the 17th day of the month, March 2026. Yesterday, when at the 16th day, H.E. Julius Maada together with in counterparts, presidents, they were in the state of Guinea. Well, the peace don't finally come. Also, we see Mamadi Doumbouya and President Bouake and President Julius Maada then sit down. This is a great leadership role where H.E. Julius Maada they exhibit. It really shows say the ECOWAS region, it is steady then. It rule them. Well, H.E. Julius Maada, you are more than enough. When like where people then can sing how they call them, musicians or gospel artists, and they say more than enough. Let me now can sing anaya. But you are more than enough for this particular role here. And one thing that really interests me yesterday when I've been to watch on their television, the Guinean television, H.E. Julius Maada could speak fluent French. I was like, Jesus Christ. So not to Timothy Kabawangwe they speak French. H.E. Julius Maada himself, they eloquently they speak this French. So it was something where it was, you know, it was so colorful. I felt so pleased. I wish I been they understand all the words said where Julius Maada been they talk yonder. But the take home there is where as the president of the chairman of ECOWAS, the take home there was like, let we not fet we safe as a nation. Let we believe in regional cohesion. Let we believe say we can do better, we can go better than this. So that was the take home where been gets for the interpreter been get for interprets, because most of the conversation according to their own we didn't see our own media we've been there live directly from there. But when the own media they explained, that was the take home where H.E. Julius Maada do. So we thank God and we are very much grateful. Timothy Kaba, somebody was telling me Timothy Kaba they try. Well, what do I expect him for? Do men not try? Now he enrolled this as foreign affairs minister. This is his time to shine. This now in time for like do your work. So Timothy, the accolade people said yesterday you tried. Yes, indeed you have tried. Congratulations. As part of your mandate to work for the people of Sierra Leone, you have to do it. So it's not that he tried. That is his job. He didn't go somewhere for go do extraordinary thing. That is part of his job and he has to do it. So when somebody in your role come and he efficiently do them, again, we had to kudos, we go for give credence to who that deserve the credence. So now let we come, since the media don't they pollute, they talk about pollution. We they show una one quick video where una go watch through. I think it's about I think less than 1 minute video where we take from we brother and page a police officer Una go watch through that page and see exactly wetin I dey try for come and say. This the new norm for let them scam people there. Yesterday I talk about scamming again. That's the new norm now for let them scam people them. Imagine you they come for can do program. Or you they come for can do, well, this not on a program. This same overseas program here where we brothers and sisters look at and say then they go for greener pastures. Then they do every kind of thing. Somebody don't sell in house. Somebody don't take in family land. They don't go sell them. Somebody don't take in family property. The livelihood way in mama or in papa go say, this is all I have or this is all I got. While I was working, you take her, you go sell her. And when you sell them, you take that money that you go give somebody we call himself an agent for making it. And now that disgrace can. The last day, Friday, I interviewed one comedian who say somebody selling whole property, a giveaway in close there. He said they go Dubai. Unfortunately, they not cry and go to Dubai. Na Guinea airport, then go left ham. Where do clean and hold am. When they hold am, what's happen? He say na Dubai in there. Then say no, this not to Dubai or this na Guinea. They end up for a come back na salon. So these are the things where we brothers then can do all in the name of traveling. And we have individuals where they out there, then they come for can invest and develop the nation or can be part of nation building. Why won't they rush for go? Sometimes if you know the sufferness where they under, so the one that will go without papers. Because if you come on at this country, you go with paper, immediately you reach, you get opportunity for gaze freely. I like na any media job, you go get her. But unfortunately, we brothers and sisters are, robustly trying to leave the nation as against their own self-esteem, their own dignity, and then your own will. Now, when I watch this video, and then I go come and talk about exactly why we as Sierra Leoneans need for halt 1 second, listen to that small arata we can sit on your back or you shoulder, and take the better lead. Una listen.
Of course, this money, I don't know if I see where I post on my Facebook account say how you go pay somebody 30 million, they got 5 million for grabbing police making them play the case. I say wickedness. I write that post in my Facebook. So this is the money where somebody get for only 30 million over 4 years. But we will put a robust approach on that. The money don't come out. At first, if you say we will grab the police for there, you can play the case. Due to that proactiveness, in fear, so make a return people money, so the person will miss. And also, this now another money, this person they live in not traveling business over. They owe him money over 2 years, the guy not pay money. This is half of the money where they can pay after 2 years when they don't follow that.
All right, that's not just a quick one for Lowy tell una how we brothers then can go so much harder on them family members. Then you left your mama and papa na treat. Then they go and beggar. You don't know when you they succeed, forget paper if ever you not left na the sea. You don't know how you go succeed if ever you not left na the desert. Do ya Sierra Leoneans know the sweetness within this country? We can talk sometimes in a corruption, the government. But if you put your life together, you put yourself together, you know what exactly you for do with your life. Trust me, you will do better. Not rely on governments. Now yesterday they talk how women, the able women, some way even are old pass. Then are streets and they beg. Then sit down and see, then they defecate. Then sit down at streets and they change. If they put dirty in face for me look like a sick young lady. Young lady. If we all decide for going to bush, like where Papa Sheki been said the money we have in the car with for can develop the country for don a bush, according to what Timmy Mama been say. It then a bush, una law go fair now. Now illustration it be they do idiomatic expression. Now we go back na the bush, now the money they. Diamond na underground ide. If you go mine you dey get her. Gold na underground ide. You go plants cassava na under the ground. Rice you plant and na from ground it dey comot. So that was the illustration or that was the idiomatic expression where we see we former presidents been dey try for tell we. So let we not look at this immediate gain. This immediate gain go just land we back into trouble. Now the politics of deceit. Hey, it's Jehovah. I am not naming that name, neither the political party or the personality. But somebody called me yesterday. It deceive himself, it deceive his supporters, and it deceive the nation. Hey, you know what? It's not because we are in the media. Any Jack and Jill go just call and I want you to talk about this. Oh, this is what is going on in the nation. Oh, if you don't talk about this, it looks like you are not in support of what is going on in the nation. No way. Don't take a media house for granted. Or because today you feel say it don't talk in favor of you, or it don't talk something where don't resonate with you, the next day it go come back, or you go now call and say, oh, talk this. You don't spoon feed some of us. We don't live overseas. Some of us we know the rights. Some of us we don't read between the lines. Some of us we know say the nation comes first. And why I say so the nation comes first? We as media practitioner, today we dey talk about media, right? Anytime soon I go bring me studio guests in. We should not be seen as political mouthpiece. Yes, we don't do one or two mistakes along the line. But when you don't catch up yourself, you don't decide, say, let me make a U-turn, a 360-degree U-turn. Follow that path where you dey go. Don't allow anybody to ridicule you, because at the end of the day, your investment's going in the drain. At the end of the day, your credibility no more stands. And people go just dey look you and say, look, I'm not serious. Na bigger idepa. So as a media, let us be seen as independent. Of course, you cannot be 100% independent. You must have a soft spot somewhere. But let that soft spot not take over when you sit in this chair. So yesterday, a very high-profile politician called me, whose name I will withhold because of privacy. He talked to me in confidence. He said, I'm speaking to you in confidence. So I will withhold the name, but I will not withhold the conversation. How you see waiting they happen? Well, if I talk, I go know the line of the who's the politician they. You see waiting they happen at the country right now. This right now this. So waiting me they say, let politicians, because they get this urge for be flag bearers, they get this urge for rule the nation. Let them not use media house, forget them gain. Let them not use bloggers, forget them gain. If you want to be promoted, but not use lies. Something that I know it is not true. Something that I know it's the world that is going through. Because it's a whole drama that the world is going through now. That I know, and I've read about it, I see, I can recognize, I can talk about. And then, una they go lie say, na so it be. So that's very bad. Now the case of Zainab Sheriff. You know, as a woman sitting here every day when I see this particular picture, what they can show una, it's an AI generated picture. But at the show una, allow una know say, this is not something really where we dey look at for a sister. She may have done something very ugly, bad, against the state, but at the same time, she deserves some freedom. Me I dey beg, today is Tuesday, tomorrow Wednesday, where it dey go na court. Do ya wanna left am for the sake of God? Let the nation live and for the sake of God, because himself gets family and a pray date and they can Friday. Let it go pray. Let not pray na sell. Me na me on humble plea that she may have done her mistake. My only advice to you, my dear sister, when you come out, stay away from media. Dissociate yourself from media houses where they ask you questions, where go put you in trouble. That's not some of the questions also why I go put today to the executive secretary. Make it tell we whether indeed these are things we're really right or waiting go be we on punishment. Let's say I get somebody in the studio, I ask some question where maybe a leader into trouble where PPRC find out. Waiting go be we the media houses we on find also to that. Now Dr. David Moyni Nasenge, he win the best education minister na the whole world best education minister. That was an accolade where we get na the nation. But this accolade is now going into the dustbin. It is now getting the worst ministry. It been so much believe in deputy. This is a gentleman where if he say I have made my own name and I need somebody to come on board and follow my legacy. But in predecessor, unfortunately, the ministry is becoming a mess. If David Senge can listen to this, he need for step up, he need for buck up as chief minister, come on board. If you cannot replace this man, then you need to act in this role for be sure say the nation, the free quality education when at the flagship program in 2018, let it not go down the drain. We see our brothers and sisters crying. They wanted to come on the show. They wanted to showcase. They called me. Auntie Elizabeth, one of the girls, called me crying. Auntie Elizabeth, you said in a very eloquent word, you said your platform is to connect voices. Can you connect our voices to Dr. David Senge? We are getting overwhelmed if we don't take our exams. The First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone needs to come to our aid as young girls so that we don't get astray. That, I believe, will be her greatest regret if we do not take our exams. So, Mr. Minister of Education, I know you go to the media houses and you've not been seen lately engaging the media. People just go, they interview you. You say what you want to say. It's like you saying what you want to say. Allow yourself to be scrutinized by media houses, regardless who side you go, so that we know the questions that we put to you. We know some of the videos we have, the text messages we had, then you can be able to answer those questions. But it's a shame the free and quality education H.E. Julius Madabio spoke about. It looks like it is going down the drain. And Dr. David Senge, you've worked so hard. The nation has won the best world minister. But lately, it's like it's going to be the worst ministry. I don't know how many percentage you give them. But even if you give him 50%, he doesn't deserve 50%. I will say this. He does not deserve 50% if our young girls cannot take exam. Hundreds, thousands of the nation cannot take exam. What is happening? The portal will not they open and when we not feel, or the portal will not they able for educate, or before we not come up with this particular system, we not able to train people them, enough people, the IT individuals will go able for work. It is unfortunate. This press release what we not pull, the whole water, because it's not a waiting you say, now waiting you not a waiting you feel for say, now waiting the ordinary Sierra Leonean they feel. If we don't feel it, we don't get it. So that's what I can say. Now the fuel price it get for hike up again. Hopefully we don't see the 35,000 in diesel, and still government they still pushing NPRA, then they still push for let the price remain to that. But as of yesterday, US they don't go up again by cent, about 4 cents. And if US they don't go up by 4 cents, Sierra Leone we are not an exception. But my concern and my plead to political parties who might want to use this as a gimmick, who might want to use this as a play, who might want to see that, okay, let we use this as a game so let we can have power. We'll not go just miss them, because the media house will not allow you, will not let you, and will make sure we cry you down. Anybody who want to use this media or we want to use this fair price as a way for gain political gain, as a way for make enrich in political strongholds, you get it wrong and will bounce at you negatively. Media houses, this is our time. This is our time. That's the press release indicating that we've got another new price. But then we hope NPRA, Ministry of Information, then go really try for muscle this down so that the world go get and clear. The nation go get and clear. It not go be used as political gimmicks. Well, finally, why should they talk about media? Entertainment also, we not go left and behind. We see where our our Fefegura is trending around, right? With something we don't happen, but that's it is personal. But again, for entertainers, and they enjoy the fun, the gimmick where they play around. We see Legacy and Sweet Boy where from the comments that I saw on the verify tick for Her Excellency, he say he go give them 50,000, let them forget about this. But again, he asked the question, what if the song na legacy really gets am, according to the comments that I saw. So that's the thing I want to say. A mother of the land decide for come solve the case. At the same time, the mother of the land looks skeptical. What if this happen? Because we see they dance to this music, the money necessary. So if na legacy boy gets the song or na sweeter boy gets the song, we tell the one that we come on board for do the piece. We just hope say this also don't help for let property rights be established in Sierra Leone. So una the entertainment industry, una don't try, kudos to una all. Now stay tuned as we go take a quick commercial break, and when we come, we guests go be welcome in. Good morning again.
How you just smile for yourself so?
Ogwambon, that boku think for the Bambai, don't.
Will you self talk na ya?
Hey, nothing no sweet neck. Where you don't dey keep for the Bambai, then you still get chance for take loan, and that money where you don't dey keep for the Bambai.
So you do, as you boss pan jackpot so, you don't make it pull payable.
This is past jackpots. Where I tell you say, Ogdombon, Amina, I don't qualify for take loan. You remember that meeting when Nasit been keep for within the informal sector?
Wait, that boku talk meeting?
Not to boku talk, it don't happen.
Wait till it happen. If you know talk, they go inside.
Hey, you know say Nasit been promise we say, Nasit not there for the one the way they work in the office no more not so. Now that's why they don't come up with the salon informal sector pension scheme. That means say elect you na fisherman, keke rider, bike rider, makituman, tailor, anyone now. Once that you self you they work for, or even if you they work for other person, you for they keep small in a corner for the Bambai.
But wait oh, make I ask you this question. How much some man they make when they for join for the Bambai? In order you feel say go qualify?
Good question. Now it want everybody where they work in the informal sector, where all 16 years and above, for contribute to the Bambai scheme. Elect now for yourself you they work for, or even if you they work under person, you for able for contribute elect now 5 million every day.
A left to you know how you want for the keep, if you want to keep every day or every week.
Na keep no more person go dey pa. How person go benefit now?
Not so for the keep no more, but who benefits then get.
All right, welcome back. The program na Ecko Morning Show. We dey inside the studio with the executive secretary for the IMC. His name na Khalil Kalon. He dey here for talk about the pollution of the media. Some questions where you go answer to we or where we go put down to RAM, and the way forward for the IMC and that of other parastatals then where they all they work together with the special reference to SLAG and IMC and NATSCA and that of the PPRC if they all they work in consonant. Good morning and welcome to Ecko Morning Show.
Good morning.
All right, so Khalil, why should they talk about media pollution since the formation of the IMC till now? How you go able to define the media landscape?
Well, I go say the media they progress, progressive, because from Usai we don't come out. Firstly, give you the background, the media within a situation Usai with the government, with the regulated media in Sierra Leone. Coming over to the war, we all see, and then after that, there was a need by the TRC that one of the causes of the war now be the over-regulation of the freedom of expression itself, where the Constitution be guaranteed inside sections 25(1). So there be thought and fit say people for be free for express themselves and for established media institutions So they be say also that you know go find the government continue in that role, and therefore make a kind of civil. So that was how the IMC, through the TRC recommendation, the IMC be formed in the year 2000, and the IMC came into being by the IMC Act of 2000. So that act will now establish an independent media commission, and that act on the in progress. The desire really now be for self-regulation. Will not be the even hope say IMC go take go they trade and tear, because we the feel say the media for able for regulate itself, like some of the things that the IMC they do, like in the areas of their complaints, sittings and other things. We be the feel say like media institutions for them by now get that kind of systems that in place. But as they progress with the rapid development to take place in the media landscape, we all don't see, we don't come up from analog, we don't can digital. Now we do, satellite, global, and all the like. So we see the developments that will take place. So therefore, the IMC began need one for making able for proliferate media institutions across the country, because we all see before now when a government be there, not to every side media institutions they be there as Sierra Leone. So when the IMC becoming to be one that be media proliferation for medicine say people get access to media for voice them, the aspirations, for give them voice. And also coming over to democracy, we be say now a good a tenet of good governance. So therefore we begin they begin with community radios, and up to the point we get a lot of newspapers now as radio, we get a lot of radio stations, televisions, as the case may be now online, because the acts have been such that as long as the person qualified for owned a media institution, the commission forgive. And then where the commission give for recommend to the body where they allocate frequencies, for give them their kind of frequencies and for me they able for exercise their rights. Don't forget, all of what the independent media commission they do step from the constitution when sections 25(1), when citizens enjoyment of their freedom of expression. So what we basically they do at the commissioner for make us civil, for ensure say nobody not get any hindrance in the enjoyment of this freedom. And really when you look at the trend from Musa Odokomo to Usa Ude now, they see say the independent media commission don't try in ensuring citizens enjoyment of that freedom, and also for enhance the space for men that freely practice the professions, the journalists. We also see a situation where the country don't move from the seditious libel law will be inside part 5 of the 1965 Public Order Act, where they repeal in 2020, with the government of Sierra Leone through President Bio and the Parliament we get for repeal, and coming over now after the repeal of that law, because of the media development trends that will not take place, we also need a progressive law where therefore match up with the emerging trends that the media landscape. So therefore there was a need for review the IMC Act 2000, even though they be done review in 2006 and 2007, but there was a need for a total review. So what can happen following the repeal of Part 5 of the Public Order Act 1965, there was a need. So the IMC Act of 2020 now be repealed as well, and the Act of 2000 be repealed and replaced by the IMC Act of 2020. We're now progressive, because the IMC Act of 2000 we get a lot of limitations where as the implementations of the act and the media code of practice will go on, where media stakeholders and the commission itself will get for fan out. So therefore we see and say, one, the IMC powers for at least be enhanced. For me, IMC gets some powers of enforcement, because then that area be really lacking, where people be they say IMC a toothless bulldog. But coming over to 2020, they be beef up the powers of the IMC and also add on commissioners, and as well enhance the IMC becomes a real independent body for able for arbitrate matters we get for do with the public. Commission also they for protect citizens against exploitation by media institutions. We all know say when somebody get access to the media, that person is powerful. And that person, so there was the likelihood that they would trend on people their rights, and particularly in the areas of character assassination, smear campaign. So therefore, the commission therefore as well protect the kind of individuals. So in as much as we therefore establish media institutions, ensure say they function effectively, ensure say they get efficiency in the service delivery, we also there for the citizen for protect them against any form of exploitation where it come from the media institution.
All right,
in that case,
how you go define the media pollution to that of unpopular opinion?
Well, media proliferation basically now for enhance citizens' enjoyment of the freedom of expression. And when you go back to the Constitution, you see the freedom include freedom to own media institutions. Okay, so now the right of citizens to enjoy that, so that the IMC Act be ensures citizens they really benefit from. So opinions of people are opinions that belong to them. I think at that point people they really means when it comes to opinion. Opinion of somebody don't mean say that truth. It don't mean say that true. And now the person opinion. And the Constitution as well talks about that. That the person that the person is right. Forget opinion. That don't mean say me opinion. If I say me opinion about you, you are a black person. That don't mean say I'm right or I'm wrong, but that is my opinion. Okay, but in the media space now, when you come in the running of media institutions or the media landscape, opinion should be clearly stated as opinion, and the media facts, particularly when it comes to news reporting and other current affair programs, now facts, now the bedrock of journalism. And the act very clear about that. Sections 5 of the Print and Electronics Media Regulations 2022 is clear about that every information where any media house they put out for be factual, and that are the very basis on which the IMC they monitor for ensure say opinions are clearly stated and facts are are stated. So you go come giving the in the guise of criticism, forgive an opinion and present it as if it's a fact. So that everything that the IMC they monitor, where IMC they bring you to book for the kind of facts are facts. There are no way to bend them. And when they try for assert the factualness of a fact, you get for ensure say you cross check all sides of that fact for ensure say you present the correct and accurate story.
So now the act expand una reach, but then the new media way na the internet, it also don't they create some limitations to una. How proactively una ready for position una self to this new media way na the internet?
Well, the IMC na a progressive and proactive commission. So the media landscape, like I said earlier, the emerging trends that by the day. So there are times because of the nature of Usa Ofenu itself in the world, it can difficult for more project a particular thing when they come up. But we know it's a progressive field, and on a daily basis, new trends that they emerge. Even with the WhatsApp what they use, there are times you could just see other features that emerge into them, where na new thing that way people need for WhatsApp. So when we came to 2020 Act, when we do the review of the 2020 Act, we will get in mind the new media. But as I say, we not be get in mind how the development that will take place in the new media. So what will happen? The IMC Act provides for the new media, but not expressly. Okay? Because at the point is so plenty people don't understand. The IMC Act itself, when you look at the short title, it provides for other related matters other than the registration and regulations of the mass media and institutions that are engaged in media services. It also provides for other related matters. So now when the act comes for under interpretation, when the act they define what a media institution is, that was actually where they said a media institution would mean an online platform. But the act don't be go into detail for give the specifics, because at that time we don't get some of the development that we don't come in. So while the commission don't they implement and roll out the 2020 Act, we can't find and say there are lacunae in the IMC Act 2020 itself. So therefore, in 2024, the IMC will go back to the drawing board and engage with media stakeholders, large and others, for more to see how best we go do another review of this act. So we don't begin the process, we don't get the first meeting in 2024. We'll be getting Marianella guest house, na side street. So coming over now to 2025, we can observe say the tripartite expressly recommend even the the inclusion or monitoring or regulation of online platforms for prevent hate speeches, misinformation and disinformation, particularly in electionary period. So it can be say now a trend what we don't earlier observe, we don't do some work around that. we will even present that work to minister. Then the tripartite can recommend expressly of an express provision in the IMC law dealing with online media. So therefore, the Independent Media Commission wasted no time. With resources from the EU through international idea, we don't do a consultation, a holistic consultation across the country. We don't do validation, and we don't even write them. We don't even draft them. We draft them by we own way. Then we don't go submit it to the minister because that the law say. So the minister now they send that to the Attorney General, Minister of Justice, and the Law Department for me to make sure they draft her into a form of a law. We go to Parliament. So that process is underway. So what basically that process they do now for ensure say the online space is now expressly provided for, just as the recommendation be say, and how we earlier review we do as well observe them. So how we get for regulate online, because the IMC not got capacity for able for regulate the entire online space, including WhatsApp and other citizens, journalists. So there is no way we go able to regulate. They will not even get that capacity there. So what we do, the consultations we clearly define the scope at which we go intervene on, in the online space. So for instance, issues of bloggers came in, yes, they get to be registered. Issues of other online spaces, particularly those where they in news coverage, yes, we get for regulate them. But how the IMC get for regulate them? So that they now be get for make express provision, like how it did for print, newspaper, radio, television, like how no more idea for them. We don't go make their provisions in that. The laws of Sierra Leone say, firstly, before you are registered, if you are a blogger, do your blogging, everybody know about you. You want to be a credible media institution, because when you are being regulated by a statutory institution, it gives you credence for even do business at the country. So therefore, firstly, you get for registered as a business institution. Your name get for be firstly provided for by law, and that name get for be protected. And the IMC law say, in we registration and license of media institution, we for ensure say before we license first, that person for not register as a sole proprietor, or as a company, or as partnership. So before you come to the IMC, you for don't do that one day first. You for don't register that your name. Then first, the second thing is that you for ensure say the laws of the IMC say, we for ensure say there people in they compliance with other national institutions, like one, the NACIT Act. We also see how large they advocate over the years that they know they pay journalists and they know they pay NACIT for a lot of journalists that we don't own without social security. So now before you even approach the IMC, if you don't done some NACIT form of registration, at least when they prove say this person is ready for employ people and is ready for provide services and as well be tax compliant, as well as the NRA. You get for make sure say you don't provide for the NRA documents where they show say at least you are legally placed in the country and you tax compliance. So from there now, the IMC can take your registration forward or your licenses process forward, and we can begin processing license. So if you are a blogger and an online space, or you are an online television or radio, then that is the process where you get for go through. So what we do now expressly, we don't make express provisions for them. Provisions there now for online registration. So if you want an online television, the processes we follow, it can be clearly defined in the IMC Act. We go get for come into being shortly, with the Parliament could ratify them. Similarly, the car radio television day. And we get for manage the scope. Not to everybody. We're not going to register everybody. But as it is now, some online media institutions like Ecko now, when I approach the IMC for registration, because the laws of IMC as it is, not too express on online platforms. But then the act be very clear in the short title that other related matters. So because of other related media matters, and we also get media institutions being defined on the interpretation section of the IMC Act of 2020. The online people them we want to do business as a radio, we want to be recognized, because we all they see a lot of scammers in the space, a lot of things that in the space we're not trustful. Don't come forward for obtain the new license ahead of even the new law we get for compare. So as it is, I can call out voluntary registration or licenses. We like some of them can do. We don't position una today in the country, because we also tell the stakeholders that's really that you cannot go to all of those other places we're not trusted. You have to go to a trusted place, and IMC certified media institution shows say that person they trusted. So therefore we get about 3 registered now. We get the Ecko Naya, when I be Unity, we don't change to Ecko. We get Liberty, and we as well get one with another. You know, when another one. When I first register, with a Max Box, with this now online space. So what did happen at the online space? Other people that use them. Registered media institutions, they get online platforms.
So hold on. So far now, only 3 online televisions registered with IMC. Now that you they say?
Express, yes. Okay. For, as it is now, license. Now we don't license for operation as Sierra Leone. And you go fair now say the trend at which when they go, it different from from the other one them because that they get trusted state personnel, okay, where they come to now because when are there with the regulatory commission and they believe say when are well positioned for able for host them. And then we get other online platforms that might made this clarification. There are registered media institutions with online platforms. Those are not express online media institutions, like Truth Media, for instance. They get their online screening. That is, accepted. Because also, the new media, what is the new media be tend for do? Now for put out the old media out of business. So we have what we refer to as social integration, where the old media say, no, we are going to integrate into the new media so that we are not left behind. So that is basically what most of them are doing. You get newspapers now, we get online versions. So that is accepted by the IMC. We're able to monitor both the, the mainstream and we monitor the online. But they are not express online media institutions.
But in that case, they have to register themselves.
Not quite. Okay. And when the laws of when this new IMC law don't go to Parliament don't ratify, when they come into force, those media institutions will not call themselves online. So if you are a media, for instance, and you have an online platform, you remain a media. The day you add a media online, it becomes a different media institution altogether, where will be need for the license. So you understand the point? So if you are a media, you have a social integration online platform, accepted. The IMC will continue for monitor you and will not get problem with you. But you cannot change your name to a media online platforms. That becomes a different media institution altogether. So as long as you add a media online platform, then automatically you get for be required by law for register the A media online platform.
All right, now we see IMC/PPRC when all they listen to the media for proofs against bad information. Like Lucian can say now, then bad belle word. When all they work together and share information.
Well, we as a commission will collaborate with state institutions, particularly those like-minded institutions. When it comes to the PPRC, NEC, when it comes to other media institutions, we get some role. They call them EMBs, elections management bodies. So we they meet and also can work together when it comes to electionary period or where political attention can be high. So what basically the IMC large will observe at the commission, we they deal with complaint there, we they monitor. We they monitor all the media institutions in Sierra Leone. And within all the districts, IMC get district media monitors across the country, now all the districts. In fact, we they about for install a state-of-the-art equipment, we get for make sure say a monitor both online and mainstream media institution, and go record them for 24 hours, and those records will be kept at the cloud for many IMC go access. That equipment will be soon, that software will be soon installed at the IMC because the equipment will not begin land at the country. So very soon we'll get for we'll get for able to install that. But what you observe, when we observe the media trend, when we observe things that will happen at the media, we don't just sit down on them. With a fair way for action so that it shows that we are proactive. So what will happen? We be observed say the media they hide intention, okay, politically in the country. So what we do, we invite most of the media stakeholders that Freetown, Western area, when they will be done begin, for can caution them because we don't see the political people they're so charged that the political messages it is so charged in a way that not augur well. People don't begin to make utterances where we not go augur well for we peace in Sierra Leone. So therefore, what we do as a commission, we decide say we not to get dealings with the political parties PROs where they raise their tensions, but you the media personnel or you the media institution, now you get the responsibility for ensure say you moderate the program in a way where not go cause any damage to to society or to the individual, it's him or herself. So therefore, we invite your constituents for warn them how for moderate such programs. And we don't even tell them, say they for caution those people, those political representatives when they come, now the media institutions, for less detention small. At least let us not get a situation who say ahead of the election would already be given to no one than it. So we don't caution them, we don't tell them. And when something goes out, of a media, not to the individual at the studio with the old responsible as a commission, not quite. So if somebody we have to come here and make a statement, a derogatory statement, we will breach the peace of the Australia, or make a statement against an individual, where that individual will feel aggrieved. That individual bring a complaint to the IMC, not to the individual who say the statement with the old. Now the media institution on which platform that particular statement or that message go out, because you get a responsibility for ensure say you moderate the program very well in a way that it don't cause any disturbance to society or to individuals.
That now the question Wabi one asks, what if somebody go sit down but you don't answer in your submission. Now we look at the case of Liberty Online Television, the sister station where now we in and another one fully registered for perform this function. Then we get a case with Dr. Sivela Nkablading. Give you an update on that.
Well, the matter still there under the commission investigation, so I will be limited. I will give the general update on what did not happen so far, but I will be limited for make any further comments. I don't want for prejudice the decision of the complaints committee or the commission. So what happened? We received a complaint from Dr. Sylvia Blyden against the Liberty Online platform, and make I remind the viewers that the good thing about you being an IMC regulated media institution positions you very well. If you are not within the IMC framework, like they can complain so, or for don't refer to cyber. When they approach you for don't say no, IMC is not regulating this particular media. So what you can do, we get a sister institution where we go deal with that. So we for don't refer them to cyber. When at the cyber units for don't handle that kind of complaining, for don't be a cyber related matter. But because they are regulated by the IMC, now that very easy make the IMC begin for take up that matter and the investigator. So what happen? We don't get hearings. So because also we not forget the fact say the new media space itself on the internet. Now a new world. Now a new world will not be created. Before now we had two worlds. We had the physical world in which we operated, where we are, and then there was also another world. Whether be the two worlds will be operating. But now we have a third world, which is the virtual world. And this virtual world, not really, have the absence of time and space. Okay, it don't reduce time and space so much so that it don't put you all at the same global village. So because there are people in that village, when that particular breach or so, or alleged breach don't happen, then people that they send need for the benefit. If I don't bring we to a new trend, it will complaint handling. Because the act very clear in sections 1910, the IMC in the handling of complaint shall hold public complaint hearings. So it don't care we go now global even. Because the Liberty they operates at the online space, we decide say we for do that complaint live on on air. So that make anytime that complaint they on, we make sure say we give the people an opportunity for medicine benefit online. So what that happen? The commission don't look into that complaint, and we don't come to a point of deliberation now. We don't done the hearing. The respondent, the complainant don't state in case. The respondent don't respond. They don't provide in justifications. The good thing that the respondent say is stand by the story. Okay? The complainant say no, this way they do me wrong. The respondent say no, I stand by them. And they don't prevent the defenses. And so all of it today with the IMC now. The IMC they look into it now. And also let people know say the Independent Media Commission itself, they get competent and experienced people. Now they make the IMC Act, the framers of the law, they were very clear. They say two experts in the field of electronics media. You see how they coin the word. They say two experts, one of whom must be a female, okay, for electronics media. And they say two experts for print media, one of whom must be a female. And then two legal practitioners nominated by the Bar Association, qualified enough for whole office as high court judges. So we get that kind of people then they basically can head the complaint committee team. So when the IMC sits on complaint, IMC gets some small powers of the High Court. The power for subpoena witnesses before the commission. But the commission, they only take witnesses on the discretions of the commission where it deems fit that yes, we need a witness. But in other matters, like this matter, would the conclusion, we will get for come up with the ruling. There was no need for a witness, because you may want to say, why would I not be bringing sign up? No, we had no business with her. Our business is with the media institution, through whose channel the information went out, and there were steps to be taken.
Okay, earlier you say if waiting somebody say we not they hold the person, which you don't establish, you say when they hold the media house responsible.
Sure.
In the event there is a ruling that goes against my sister station, Liberty, would you hold them responsible, and what would be the punishment for them, if ever?
Well, the IMC act very clear. When Parliament make these acts, Parliament be very clear, and when they even make the regulations, they are very clear about everything that the IMC does. So everything is defined within the IMC. If it's an accuracy provision, IMC get the rulings for accuracy, all defined inside the Print and Electronics Media Regulations 2022. So we know they do anything outside we remit as a commission. That is why we are very careful that in the handling of complaints, we dey make sure say we go by wetin the law provide for. So I can see people that say, hey, IMC fines are too high. No, that is what is stated in the laws of the IMC. IMC no anything confined. Now wetin the law provide for, now they use. For instance, smear campaign, when are sections 19 of the Print and Electronics Media Regulations 2022, when are the highest fine in the Print and Electronics Media, when are 20,000 new news. So what is the happen? If somebody don't go defame, or somebody don't go make a statement against other person, will not correct in the, in the guise of lowering the esteem of that person in right-thinking, in front of right-thinking members of the public, generally, then that person they bring that action. If we find guilty, would they take a number of factors? Firstly, the IMC if you look at the conduct before the complaint committee and give that fine. Some people don't come before the complaint committee, like we had the recent rulings that we don't pull. There was a case on the Minister of Social Welfare where one of the journalists kind of what is it? He said me, I not be even there. The editor said I not be there. So because I not be there, I take responsibility. He said I not stand by this story. He said in fact I go do retraction. Not to the IMC order. Because once the matter not there before the IMC, whether you went and made a retraction ahead of time, what the IMC really come on, the ruling will have to demand something. So in levying fines against that kind of people, then you get for also look at the conduct before the committee. In always the committee time, he said no, me they go do them, and they go do them. So what did they happen? The fine then at 20,000. Now the IMC can get discretion, say okay, because in always to tell, law make her 5,000 use, law make her 10,000, law make her 15,000. So it depends. That's the only powers the IMC have to say no law work. But for say the IMC will go above 20,000, we prescribed by law, no. And when people are grieved, if a media institution or a practitioner, because now the new thing that with the IMC Act of 2020 come with into the act. Before now, no, there were no express provision for media personnel, but now a complaint can be lodged against Ecko online platform here and against Elizabeth. So a complaint can be lodged against you and against the media institution, and we can go look into both. They take us both as two different complaints. So we'll look at you and we'll look at this other person as well. But if you feel aggrieved with the IMC decision, you still get law for appeal at the High Court. You can go to the High Court to appeal. When you appeal at the High Court, because the entire thing for make us civil, the High Court can call the IMC. We go there, get what they call judicial review. They look at the steps they will follow for arrive at that particular decision. Where the High Court federal say the IMC not be follow due procedures in the handling of the complaint, then the court can say IMC go back. You miss at this point, you miss at this point. We'll now go back and look at it. That now we call judicial review. So where people can say, hey, this really harsh, this is harsh, you get an opportunity for see how you go appeal. During the review, there were calls for my IMC get an appeal system. But it appear for me a little bit funny, where the commission does spend all this time for looking to the complaint, and after which, then the IMC go back and review decision. So that made the framers of the law be say,
so you chairman when Igbenda Kapuwa, una rule against him. That's, I mean, where he been there as head now, SABC, it take a decision where, according to the IMC, una rule against them. But to the public, where see this ruling, it look unfair to her.
Which ruling specifically?
A case for the
Umutoronka. No, we not rule against individual even.
Okay.
We rule against a media institution.
Okay.
Okay.
But Ina been the head by then.
Well,
as head of SABC, so the media they look at and say, it's a rule against him.
Well, that's the unity.
Him being the head of IMC now, when I can't take the decision against her,
well,
it's unfair.
Well, that's the unique thing about the Independent Media Commission. That is very unique. And it go interesting say he chairs the commission's board. Okay? But the matter not be get anything to do with Chairman Joseph Winda Kapua Esquire. It not be get any matter. Okay. Yes, despite the fact that he don't become the Director General, but that matter not be get any dealings with him. There was nowhere in the entire cause would the IMC be get for mention in him. The thing that this matter, a lot of people they misconstrue things same way they know about this matter. I know there are a lot of things in the public, sure. But what the IMC dealt with specifically was the unlawful dismissal. Now that be there before the IMC. Unlawful dismissal was the matter before the IMC. And the IMC wasted no time because when this complaint was lodged, in fact, at a large annual general meeting, this matter was in fact referred again to the IMC. So, despite the fact say, WIMSA as well, beget so much interest in this matter because they're the member. So the IMC went to the complaint committee in McKinney, because usually that's what they do. If a complaint comes from a region, we are bound by law for good day. So that they will go get a public hearing even. But we not see cooperation from even the SABC. And from the manager was in the first hearing. The manager when I manage a specific station, na McKinney, was in the first hearing. And all of the allegations were made by the complainant. The a lawyer states all the complaints. From there, in response was no, he is under directives from the head office. So we moved the matter back to Freetown. We invited not to one hearing we get. You remember we deal with this matter over a year. So when the IMC look into everything, we look at some documents, we look at contracts, we look at other things. So that is the unity about the IMC. When they look into complaints, there are times to do extra investigation. Despite the fact say we arbitrations now based on probability basically, but we they require what the media institution don't put out. Now basically what they look at, okay, and the actions of the particular. So the findings that be that she was unlawfully dismissed, okay, and the IMC not go hide that there was a contract that states that if you want dismiss, either party want terminate the contract, they should give at least a week notice, and that week notice was not given to her, and she was just dismissed by word of mouth through a telephone call that you are no longer here. You see, me boss don't make her understand say contracts and they that they are even implied contracts. If somebody were to come here every morning, wake her, they send them, they do this, you not get no letter. That person every day, that person is now used to come into this place every now and then. If I will not say, ask why I not see this person, that person is employed impliedly. Yes, because you don't accept her. It's employed. So the lawyers then get away how they can interpret that and they can defend them. And because the commission not get that kind of mandate for impose a particular money where they for pay Umutoroka, that was why those experienced legal people where they chair the committee and where they on the IMC board, including the chairman, they all say no, we are with power stop, now they will for stop. So our ruling can now serve, for instance, for for sick redress, for impay package, through SABC, where SABC pay for PM, what they're supposed to pay by the contract, and then they can go to the legal systems or to Ministry of Labor, where they for do with severances and other things, so they can able to work that. So basically, we not rule against an individual, we ruled against an institution based on our findings. The ruling was not prejudiced by anything. The ruling was a factual from what we investigated from the matter due to Mutonka.
All right, the program now Echo Morning Show. We go take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we go into the NATCA, IMC, and some things then we as media, myself and my sister station, Liberty, with the lower contact, say it's a conflict of interest. Wanna stay tuned.
Do you want to enjoy the much needed fiber internet facility for both home, office, and business growth? Then Fastnet Sierra Leone is your answer. Fastnet SL Limited offers you unlimited network with seamless opportunity to surf the internet anyhow with an affordable money to pay for. Our service is fast like a flash, and our bandwidth is the best in Sierra Leone. With Fastnet, your internet doubt is over forever. Also with Fastnet, you will love to enjoy the world of digital reality as much as you can. We are service oriented, customer friendly, and we are here to give you the best out of the rest. We are located at Madungo Town, opposite Water Street off Congo Cross in Freetown. For more inquiries, you can contact us on 079-834047, 074-982-125. Fastnet, always connected. Do you want to enjoy the much needed fiber internet facility for both home, office, and business?
All right, welcome back. The program now Ecko Morning Show. A day inside the studio with Khalid Kalon, the Executive Secretary for the IMC. Idea follow we talk about the pollution where the media don't be, how things they go around. And so we as media houses were registered. According to what I say, now 3 online televisions are registered. However, someday we, because use Truth Media as an example, because in don't already register radio, so it can use them for incorporate in word. But so far now 3 registered online televisions, then they monitor. Now we get NATSCA, where then they also regulate. We get IMC, where when they work closely. We don't see some conflicting acts where the one way they inside IMC and not the NATSCA. You can able tell we the role where IMC for play to that of NATSCA directly?
The IMC Act mentioned NATSCA in sections 25(1) of the IMC Act. That when it comes to regulation or licenses, the grant of licenses. But NATSCA is a sister institution where I not go Sidoya and talk for them. What I know about NATSCA, now then they manage the frequencies where the International Telecommunications Union allocates to Sierra Leone for the people of Sierra Leone. Now NATSCA they manage that one day. So the relationship between NATSCA and IMC, we they manage content, we they regulate content, and they grant permission licenses for make you able for broadcast, particularly in the broadcast institution more when the electronics media, now they will get relationship with NATSCA, not in the print. The co-register print media will not send that to NATSCA because they not get frequencies where they allocate to them. So what did the law say? That in the grant of licenses, where IMC don't give a license to a media institution, IMC go now forward that license and recommend to NATSCA by the IMC Act of 2020 for an allocation of a suitable frequency for that particular broadcast or electronics media institution. So as far as the relationship concerned, now that we do, and when we recommend to them by law, when they issue that license, they are bringing it back to we, because now we don't recommend the grant of that license, and now we get for monitor that license, because there are things where they now the IMC form will the ensure to monitor. So because now a sister institution key partner, in fact that is done that we get a technical person from NATSCA where they sit down at the IMC technical committee where they take decision for the grant of licenses for electronics media institutions purely. So where we forward the recommendation for the grant of a suitable frequency, when NATSCA they allocate, they therefore send back to the commission for saying we don't get frequency for this person. So when they give you that frequency, now for that frequency now, with the print your license with the frequency and with the as well they monitor along the line same. But we know say frequency is now a scarce commodity and everybody wants that. Freetown, for instance, a lot of applications they come in. So now there we can network with NATSCA for say, are there available frequencies for Freetown? We say no, everybody wants to have a media business in Freetown electronics. So we are encouraging them, go up country. Freetown is full. Freetown is full. So that's can be done tell you that they say Freetown is full. So anybody they apply to me for electronics media institution, the first thing I tell you, if you want sit in Freetown, I cannot advise you to buy a form if you are the IMC, because likelihood they say we are saying recommendation, NATS cannot get for honor because they not get available frequencies, the airways as you know it choke up. Then similarly so, we also get problems with the applicants. Some man the application form so they feel the available maximum power output allowable per media institution now 250 watts. Now transmitter. So whether you have a 10,000 watt transmitter, not a problem. But waiting for put out for be 250 watts. Because we have for give space for make everybody go able for get access to the media. So what happen on that feature? A lot of the media institutions go on the highest mountain in Leicester Peak, and then some man get over 2,000 watt TV where they broadcast on. So now there the commission can partner with NATCA because they get the technical capability. We can go check their transmitters them, because where you be done register for 250, we go further and say that 1,000 or 2,000 watts you dey broadcast on where you not supposed, because radio itself now if it be broadcast within a clearly defined geographical proximity, despite the fact say the signal itself not dey respect territorial integrity, but then we expect say if you broadcast at 250, you cannot go that far, because this same frequency we get, let's say you get 94.5 Naboya and Freetown here, we might have given another person in Kono, for instance, because the frequency range within Australia is limited. Now 88 to 107. So if everybody go open transmitter wide, you go find out say the Mao Doggy 94.5 na Kono, with you where they Leicester Peak, where don't they broadcast on 2,000 watts, you go disturb the man. And some man also get the right equipment way for take for broadcast. Because when you're going to broadcast, there are equipment. Like there is one thing we call filter. The cavity filter keeps you on your line. It takes you purely to where you dey. If they say you are 97.5, now they purely, you know, they go out. But what did they happen? A lot of people, because they want to get high again, they overmodulate the frequencies they don't give them. So when you listen to them, if they come on, other media institution where they were established in that same locality, not they able come on. Because he own signal, now so it's scattered they go. And in signal for be mold within a clearly defined space. And so we don't envisage some of their problems there. So now there we can partner with NATCA, we as a commission. So when once we don't give out a license, we forward the license with the recommendation. But the two things where the two actors they speak together, and the fact that NATCA they give license for 2 years, IMC license only valid for 1 year. So if IMC don't give you the license for 1 year, as the laws are, sections 27 of the IMC Act, you ought to renew that license by the IMC Act. 3 months for the expiration of the license. You for come forward for tell the IMC say I intend for continue using this license, so make her renew, and then you go through the renewal processes.
Now, not for remind we or now we for take up on we
by the laws now, by the laws of sections 27(1), not to we for remind any media house.
Okay.
So now out of courtesy, we even send out invoices, but we are not supposed to do that.
All right, now we do this clarification. A lot of people, Truth Media come on 2025. A lot of people, they insist, say, when I give them license in 2025. You can do that clarification here because there has been a lot of laundry list of people waiting in line. We don't know tomorrow another media go generate where they go begin yeri. So we want to know when Truth Media was licensed for the public consumption. Truth Media had been licensed since 2024. I could still remember, I think it was a meeting of board of November 2024 that licensed Truth Media or Truth Radio even. There are 3 media institutions in Truth Media. They first registered the newspaper. From there, they registered the radio. Then the last registration, I remember, was at the television. Now be in November. Then do no, not November. Now be something like September, October, because I traveled to China in November. So that be September, October, we don't license them since 2024. So they be don't go get frequency actually. After we license, we don't forward the licenses to NATCA, and NATCA be don't allocate a suitable frequency to them. But the problem was they fail for operate that frequency. So when it came to renewal, they can't renew to the IMC, but by then I don't think they don't come on here. So a lot of people be they go with the, with the misconception say Truth Media has just been like no, because I seen some people somebody be even go make write up that the Independent Media Commission is working with some interest group at political level. They even mention my name for say we have given license to this person, to this person, to this person at so time. So they miss the fact even. They had long been licensed and not to executive, make this position clear, not to executive secretary license.
not to the administration of the Independent Media Commission to give license. If you go argue license as the executive secretary, that you license the question. Because the law not give me the mandate for licensing you, not to me for licensing you. There is a commission, what they say the Independent Media Commission, there is a commission. By the laws are very clear that the commission comprises a chairman and 12 other commissioners. So when that body they sit, about 13 of them, whether they sit, then they call Independent Media Commission. So even when I'm writing, a lot of people they say, hey, this man, I they write, there is a big right, they don't take this decision. No. Most of the letters are they write. I said I'm directed because me the secretary to that board. So if a board takes a decision, now me they are the implementing side. Now me the implementer. So the executive secretary does not give license nor register a media institution. What I do basically is to facilitate the process. Yes, we operate in committees. The acts make provision for committees. We have the technical committee. When I specifically they look at licenses of electronics media institution, and it's chaired by a commissioner. When particularly the technical expert will not be nominated by SLAJ and approved by the president, 9 days as chair, and he get a co-chair. Then we get other committee members now will comprise of IMC staff and other members. Even though I and the chair are part of all committees that are created, we get statutory committees like the IMC, like the technical committee, complaints committee. We have the applications committee where they look at applications from newspapers for the registration of those kinds of newspapers. So after the work of the committees now go to the commission and report their work. So it is at that level now where the commission can vet. They see the way the committee don't do. Then from there, the commission now say we don't approve this media institution. It is only on approval that the executive secretary is giving the mandate for communicate the decisions of the commission. So that is why some people can say, hey, this is it's a kind of cliche, but that is the pattern. I said I'm directed to do this because I don't sit all by myself and do it. So in terms of decisions, take the Independent Media Commission and leave out the executive secretary. All
right, now you don't do that clarification that Truth Media was registered or then get licensed since 2024. It's not 2025.
No.
As people they purport.
No.
Now we don't understand. Say there is no frequency so far. Frequency not there for radio. If, for instance, we see an emergence of a radio tomorrow under the IMC Act, somebody go say na yesterday una give license or waiting, how una go able for answer that question?
Citizens get rights for access information. So this is where you don't sit and just cast blames, but you come to the commission and request for information. And we are one of the commissions so most compliant with the Right to Access to Information Act, because we deal with information, a lot of information. So people approach us for those kinds of information. I would give them, as long as they no bother on the individual and privacy. There are information people they request, would they give them except exempt information. All right, so what would they say? I'm not there in the position for say there are no frequencies in free time. Not to me for make that statement. If me make that statement, then I go to misrepresent that car. Not to me your statement. Me your statement are that I am to forward my recommendations by sections 25 of the IMC laws to NATCA to say we recommend these people. So as I speak, we get piles of recommendations where they don't do. You understand? We get piles of them. They don't do. When a media institution so we don't send, when they know able to give frequency. So NATCA, by the laws, supposed to keep frequencies. In fact, the president should have a frequency. Because the what they do so now delegated legislation. Most of the things they do now make under the office of the president. Now be the president in role. A delegate say no, let give this, let IMC they perform this. But at every given time, like the president want to open a radio station, there should be a frequency for him. Okay? Yes.
Is he allowed to have a radio station?
As an individual, I'm talking about his status as the president, the number one gentleman.
Okay.
And went to the practice that delegated legislation. Okay. Naime could under the office of the president. Okay. Naime could now appeal that at least the media get a section at the new review, the constitutional review. But so what they say here, I cannot be categorical to say there are no frequencies for free time. I go be wrong. What if somebody don't breach? So that these people don't understand. NATCA they give license for 2 years. At the end of the 2 years, you are expected to renew that frequency. If you don't renew,
then go harvest and you
of course. So such harvest go don't happen. Then they look at a suitable person based on the sequence in which the applications will not arrive, or based on the need, because every business get a business plan, they get a business purpose. They may be going through that to see how they can allocate the license, the frequencies, because every frequency gets space. Now, for instance, like I said, if those spaces are not provided, now frequencies are in odd numbers. You see 97.5, 96. So if so the car be say 88 to 107, they don't give 88.1, 88.2, 88.3. It can work because we not get the required equipment for able broadcast in that kind of system. When one man they broadcast, sometimes if they broadcast from 88.0, the next one they will give, sometimes I can forget 88.7 EV or 88.5. So that gap they left, in case they are equipment faulty, not can involve in this sort of one. So now NATCA can prioritize that, but not to mean that the right person for answer. See,
all right, we reach out to Ben Fode, we na in the PRO na NATCA for make it be part of this conversation. Unfortunately, he dey out of the town. As this na Ramadan, they go pray out to within people them. So now that's not the information we get for that make we not able to get Ben Fode on the seat together with the executive secretary na IMC. So now NATCA been sent an invoice to me for 12,000. IMC also sent an invoice to me for 12,000, which both of them I have paid.
IMC 12,000, correct? That IMC yes. Should be 10,000.
IMC then sent to me, I pay, and NATCA sent to me, I pay. Both of them were, I think, 12,000 registration and something, but it was 12,000 that I paid. Now, Bank of Sierra Leone, I have the receipts. Now, the reason why they asked this, why is there a conflict of interest in this online? Now, IMC for regulate we online, or now UNA for regulate we online, because not a television station I get where. As I they talk so now the frequency people they see them. There is no frequency. You don't say you don't establish and say now I'm NATCA they give frequency. Una they regulate with. So now they send me an invoice which I have paid. IMC, NATCA send me an invoice which I have paid. Where is the conflict of interest?
I don't see any conflict of interest because there are two distinct laws that they govern we. So I don't know. Who's that conflict of interest there? I'm not too familiar with the NATCA Act. We talk specifically about the online registration. I don't know about them. And IMC, I will just state to your position that we can register other related matters. So maybe you may have followed under related matters. So it's a question and a conversation that you go need for post to NATCA for me to go answer, because in we own registration of online media platforms, maybe by way of information we can inform them. But we know they require them for same frequency back to you. So now we will register you initially. You notice it will not give you any frequency range. But NATCA, maybe by the laws, there are provisions where you're supposed to register. So what I would advise is you go to NATCA again. Then you and they sit down, you look at the laws, then you will see the specific provision. I have said the IMC law not expressly provide for your registration, but because of sanity in the society and because you want to be a credible business institution, you decide for come at the IMC and be registered. And similarly, so they encourage other media institutions where they in similar business, because at the commission, mostly the ministers or senior officials of government, before they go to those online spaces, they can consult with particularly the chair. They go call her, chair, is this registered? Shall I go to this one? Because we want to be careful also. So that you not just go sit down, somebody decide for use information for pass and the wrong way. There are times if they get where they can distort some of the information. But because you are under the IMC, you are bound by the IMC Act and media regulations. So now that make really the kind of the IMC. So we at the IMC, we know we use position. So the NATCA, I wish Ben Fode were here so that he will be able to tell you the your position from strength where did they come out from any regulator now. But me not go sit here and tell you say yes, NATCA is right or NATCA is wrong. No,
but you said in your submission then a frequency. So now that I don't pay, why are they ask this? Because now when they regulate we, and I say this, I get the opportunity sitting with you today for me and my sister station, which is Liberty. Now they go through this. They don't already write through NATSCA say let NATSCA give them the act where they show say them for pay. I went ahead and pay because I felt like I want for day in conformity with waiting and say and waiting and say. So now that they don't say they know they pay, well, let not use the word they know they pay. They don't write for clarification in the act. If by chance, because you are now sitting here before me, if by chance they end up the acts not come up and wait there for let them refund this money, you will request that I ask for a refund for me your money.
I will not tell you to do a request for a refund because in the first place where you be pay, not to me you be telling you go pay. And similarly so, where during the license process there was no mention of NATCA. No so, and not be prejudiced license on any NATCA decision, unlike the radio where you be apply for. Because remember, a lot of people will not understand that your first application was for radio. This is something like 3-4 years ago we sent to NATCA, which is Ecko, which is why I'm happy even now that you don't change to Ecko, because Ecko was your initial brand in this country where you come. And you see I subject you to NATCA by you Ecko, and that application has been there, you know, and I don't know how best you may have followed up or so. But inside with your Lord, what did the law ask you for do, now they do. So, like I tell you earlier, it is but fitting that you sit with NATCA. The Liberty not go don't do wrongly for say clarification. They are not saying they will not pay you.
No, that's what I'm saying.
By statement, they say clarification.
Yes.
So maybe you may also need the clarification because you raise concern from una too. Me they talk from the position of your law and waiting for coming to be very shortly. We be get problem for registered bloggers as individuals, but now because of the of the provisions where the law they can make, some don't begin come, some don't even begin come for come by form. I can tell them say it's not mandating right now, but for me you go be recognized and be credible now, so be regulated by the IMC. And we get bloggers every day into news business right now, where they do news business. And as long as the news business they do, by law, you for Canada the IMC. And before that law come into force, they will give them some time. You go down far, go ahead. So begin the process. So that basically that we do it now. Okay? And if anyone will not go around and hold any media institution, any online media institution, you see where they hold them. Otherwise, if you operated a radio, television, newspaper, magazine as a religion without being licensed or registered, you risk the chance of fine of not less than 30,000 and not more than 60,000 euros.
Even at online level?
No, that is what I'm saying. I said before now, if you were not a registered media institution, I said we'll not go after you as an online.
Okay.
For now.
Okay.
We don't go after you. But when that law would have come into being, where Parliament go down pass am, where the draft stages done, they don't go to Parliament, where the law they come out now. If you're a blogger and you're into news business, you can't register now mandatory. If you're an online business, it's ready. You mandate. If I will get for the publisher list so that people know where to go even. So you don't just do business. I have had calls, I have had invitations to other online platforms, but they are not registered. When Liberty started this country, me not be the one people where they can call. They ask. There are people who are registered. I said they are not. And because they are not registered, not to IMC regulated. But when they heard that the executive secretary is telling stakeholders that we are not registered, they saw the need and they came forward. Mabel and Khadija, they came forward for their registration, and they are legally placed down within within the media space. In terms of breach, people go refer to IMC. So society also not understand this. So let me just educate the people. And they get a lot of complaints. Somebody go down say something about you in the WhatsApp space. You say no, that go IMC, that go lodge complaint. IMC no they can't matter there. For now, we only limit yourself to that year. Oh, they register the country. You don't want to do bad online. Oh, they take. Or the other one them will not integrate online. Then newspaper they will get online spaces. Television will get online space like AYV. Radio station will get online space. If you do something with you online, you can't you can't to IMC. Would they look into it? But anyone will not register with you can't with her. Now waste of time. So also we get that journalist when identify journalist or media institutions, the online platforms that we identify. If Ecko Media here, you have a WhatsApp platform, somebody go there and do something, would they accept that matter?
Wow.
Yes. If that is Ecko Media's platform, now with a WhatsApp platform, somebody go make any derogatory statement against another person,
We not delete them.
no, we will not take action.
Okay, either for exit the person off.
No, well now you get your actions. You know if for take.
Okay.
So in terms of liability, you go be liable. IMC go look into that matter. They will go see what is that the steps they want to take. As long as they are an official platform of that institution, they handle that. So that the thing that they plenty people don't understand. But other person, not they just go from in WhatsApp group, he bring account to we say local regulator. No, we will not get that powers. And we will not even have to go to that for now.
All right, the program now Ecko Morning Show. We don't learn a lot about media. I never knew myself, Ecko Media, Liberty Online Television, and the other one, what's in the name? What you call?
Max Box.
Max Box. Now we no more register for interview individuals then. Now this platform according to IMC. And so NATSCA, unfortunately, we're not able to get Ben 4 day on the seats because now first month he want go pray with him. People them we reach out to him, then give him money for pay. Me and my sisters. Me don't go ahead and pay because I not been wants anything. But my sisters ask for clarification. And this clarification, I wish then go able to tell through. If they not get clarification, then I will have to request for my money. And Mr. Go writes through a lawyer, let them refund me 12,000 leons. The program na Ecko Morning Show. I read few messages for Khalil, and then we go call the program hot. This person say, well done, IMC Executive Secretary Khalil Kalon for articulating the issues perfectly. Sir, what concrete steps has the IMC taken to combat fake news, especially during political sensitive periods? Two questions, sir. Given that many bloggers and influencers operate outside traditional regulations, is the IMC losing relevance in the digital age? Secondly, should social media users be licensed or regulated like traditional journalists, or would that violate freedom of expression? Sir, social media is flooded with misinformation. Does the IMC have the legal authority to or strategy to control this space effectively? How do you balance media freedom with regulation without appearing to express dissenting voices? What mechanisms are in place to ensure fairness and consistency in disciplinary action? The penalties imposed by the IMC are strong enough to deter unethical journalism, or are they simply symbol? Well, the message is them Boku Khalil. The other person, they say, how now they define the line between freedom of expression and irresponsible journalism. Which lessons Sierra Leone then learn from other countries about regulating media without suppressing voices? The message is them Boku Khalil. I just want to let you answer some of their one.
Well, coming over to the issue of dealing with misinformation, hate speeches during electioneering period, the IMC don't take adequate steps, and one of the things that with the IMC be found out in the new law, now the fact say the laws themselves of the IMC, even though it give enforcement powers, but going strictly by the letters of the laws as they are, it will be difficult for the IMC to act speedily when it comes to promptness in terms of response. So therefore, the tripartite recommendation be clearly tell the IMC that during electioneering period, issues of disinformation, misinformation will come up. So the IMC forget some additional powers for able for regulator. So that day on course. Remember, during the 2023 elections, as the laws are, I don't go to a station who say a media practitioner they do something wrong. They did at the station. Oh, reach, I talk to the manager, but they tell the canine lock the domot. It is the talk. So now the laws as they are, because as the laws are, IMC for give you a notice of an action we want for take against the media institution and give you sufficient time for complying with that action. And from there, the IMC for also tell you where you fail the action wey dem for take, and the IMC for give a time frame within which you for comply. So where you fail for comply in the enforcement powers of the IMC still not for go with say pass to wait for a warrant. So by the media consultancies across the country, stakeholders of the media and even legal experts don't say as you know that process need to be cumbersome. If you don't tell the person say now this you don't do it bad, now this steps you for take for correct time, you don't get time for comply with that decision, and after that person they can appeal at the high court. If the person fail for do all of that, then the IMC not get any reason for going to court again. We can approach a police officer with the rank of an to the rank of an assistant superintendent, and if we're able to go enforce IMC ruling. So in that situation, for instance, during the electionary period, what he was saying in the studio was not correct. We are right out there, but they will not get the powers to break the door. But if now the police we go there now, IMC just instructs say this so decision when I go do this, so we cannot enter a building and stop their operations right away. So we need a prompt response there. So in the area of misinformation, particularly in the online space, now that means could provide registration and regulations of most of them. Then we get for do a lot of trainings and for many people that know what it mean, and then we media, we media actors them get for really know. So how do we balance media freedom with regulation? I want to say that responsible use of the media will they promote. Even in England, Ofcom they regulate the media. So freedom of expression, yes, people can express their freedom, but as the laws are, the limitations are there. Limitations are there. Who would expect say the users of the media for ensuring they comply by their limitations? You freedom not mean say that you get for can't talk against me against me on good name, for smear me good image. When a trend who don't begin see again at the media space, and also I encourage stakeholders make them learn for respond to the media, because most of the situations the complaints that now they get, we try to reach that person, but the person not give you voice, or we go to the office it rebel, and at the end of the day we went to press. Yes, we say the act say the media regulations very clear, say the journalists for take reasonable step, in sections 5 of the print and electronics media regulation, it clear that you for take reasonable steps for providing accurate information. The reasonability of it, of his steps don't really mean say you just don't send text to that person, you don't expect the person to receive it. You can follow him up with a call. There are even times you get for book an appointment, you understand, for make sure say you don't satisfy that requirement. So we don't say a lot of the stakeholders as well not like for talk to the press. So if they make the press, they go with misgivings. Maybe they go need some kind of public education. Maybe from time to time we go they come now and encourage stakeholders. Where you approach on a given matter dealing with the public, because you're a public official, you get right to respond. All right, if it's a matter, make I just finish. If it's a matter that you cannot respond to immediately, tell the journalist something will go make it satisfied. For say, okay, this still not come to the attention of management, but we dey look into it, give you some time, we go respond back.
I dey ask you 2 more questions and we go call the program a halt. The first one, most people knocking leg for, just like what you say, stakeholders. Then they blunt media houses with political party. We where they sit down now, do we have to take off the political lens when we sit on this table, or we have to carry out the political lens? What are your advice to we where they sit down and then sit here, they interview people?
We get the Independent Media Commission Elections Coverage and Reporting Regulations 2022. Because we'll be unbundled the IMC Media Code of Practice, it has 4 parts. So we make the elections, when that be one part, a standalone document. Then we make the print and electronics media regulation a standalone document. Then the advertising code will see the review inside for be a standalone document. So but what the elections coverage and reporting be say, now the fact that you cannot sit here and be political, it not the work. There are no 2 ways about it. So when we went on the consultation, this didn't come from me, not from Parliament, not from Mr. Kalon or not the IMC. It was the outcome of a national consultation that we did. The media institutions and media practitioners, the managers, stakeholders, proprietors, all the own data emitters there will do at district level be agree say yes, this is not professionally wrong for a media institution to endorse a political party or a political candidate. They say internationally it is not wrong, but in the context of Sierra Leone, let us put it in this law that we as media practitioners or media institutions shall not endorse a political candidate or a political party. So if anybody say media, the day wey endorse am, they lock you. Just like how be locked there with the radios there. Now that means we could be locked there through radios. So because it's a law, and that is what you people came up with. In fact, I make elect parliament. Where they carry media law on parliament they can accept una, or that is one thing I really admire about parliament. If they bring una all una can sit down. It's say una suggest it in the back after the consultation. Call the stakeholders, come and sit at privilege, and then they begin to tell we say back what una want to put on the back. Now we are the people that we don't get the opportunity in this country. So where are you? You know, you guys have said this is how it should be. Now we get for follow as a commission until it is repealed. That is why you are not even mandated to wear a political party color. So during electionary period, those are the things. I make now the IM still the city of Twitter. We can send teams all over the country because one from monitor una conduct as well as what they say in the areas of programming on una. At least the actual software they get is so elaborate that they get for able for record over 50 media institutions now Freetime alone, and then it go record over 20 television stations where go be kept. So whether I'm sleeping or not, that program will be on, and where I can by the click of the button. So if I don't forget the title of the program, the one word they be talking where they say or that one course the way somebody don't talk up. I don't say online. Where is that type that course? That course they come out with the program. That's what they program the system. Yes, the system is highly sophisticated, and some of the things that don't begin come at the country we will install up shortly. So not to think that will get for worry with. We get for be robust in the monitoring of media institutions. But as the laws are now, no media house na alone not for endorse any political candidate nor a political party even. So anybody will say no, me are there for this media, will say you can do it professionally, but once the IMC picks it up to be a political bias program, we get for definitely.
All right, this could be my last question as time don't really beat we. In the events, Ecko Media registered, Liberty Online registered, the other online registered, we reach out to somebody for let it come and do clarifications, and they refuse to come over, and we put out something, the person vehemently feels say he's aggrieved with it. We don't reach out to her, he say I know they can another platform, we don't write to her, he not respond, and we make publications. Are we held responsible?
Well, that is where the commission will now satisfy the reasonability of its step by the media regulations 2022 section 5. So we go look at the steps that we take for reach that person before you came to conclusion. Were your steps reasonable? If your steps are reasonable, we see every step we take. We had a case where somebody do a reasonable step in reaching at a particular stakeholder. The person even go that the office, they match them out. We settled it in our ruling. Okay, we settled it. So we are all reasonable steps have been taken, and then the person refused. Then you can go to press. So that time you can able to account for your reasonability and say, I took this step, I took this step, I took this step. But then coming back to public relations, even, I think I could encourage every big institution or every institution, forget a public affairs unit or a public relations department. Media relations itself, now a whole something where stakeholders, people within the authority for able for know. They for able for know what is a media relation. And therefore able to understand how to deal with the publics, because as long as you are serving the public, there is no way you get to operate or utterly by your own without the public getting onto you or clarifications on issues. So the stakeholders get to know this. Where you are approached, if you not get the expertise in your office, seek and somewhere. We have the experts, you may have them as friends. Call an expert, tell us, say, now so to this person don't come, or this person I don't get this kind of call. How do I deal with this kind of something? So when the experts go able for advise you, maybe you may not want to employ that person, but you go retain her, for instance, on a private website, or you know that the backspace where go they give some advice. So in most of the problem, where people they get, where stakeholders they get, where authorities they get, it go less. Okay, let them learn for open, because this is now an open society today. Now the global space where they now the virtual world now openness, because before now they go hold information from we, but now there is an information market. Not so. So even where you hold the information from, we can still go there and can get it, whether correct or not. In fact, these days, if you get online, everything is there, whether good or bad, you just download. So where you pay for give, that person will go be ill-motivated, go just go and get whichever type you get, a user. So I encourage stakeholders as well, people in positions of authority. There are times most people can call, They can call me the IMC, but how do I handle this kind of thing? This person, this social thing. So the first thing you ask that person, are you guilty of what they are calling you for? For instance, the person will say no. Then this is how you respond. Because if you are guilty, there is no way, there are no two ways about it. You have to call that media institution and see how you could respond.
All right, the program na Ecko Morning Show. In name na Khalil Kalon, na ina the executive secretary for the IMC. Ideya where it don't talk about the rules way of engagement where we media house for follow and waiting at the steps further if we get that bridge. Plenty thank you to una we watch we wanna be sure say this program go return back tomorrow. We dey go inside the fire force tomorrow and also the civil society. We see where they don't go endorse Edmond Sylvester Alpha. We will go inside it. The program na Ecko Morning Show. Me name na Elizabeth Kefuigembe. Plenty thank you to the producer of the show and also the studio technicians. You will send your text message. Facebook don't they still close will reach. Please. My appeal where we can just share and comment so that Facebook will know say the page is not being hacked and not to robots the user. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
Me fambulem na salon. Ecko Media TV don't come for unify, sensitize, and inform salon people. Me fambulem una aduo, una cabo and kusheo. Ecko Media Online TV don't come ya so for we hello. We dey connect every voice any side where you dey let my home and a brother. Bringing development. Ecko Media we strive for the best. We unify, sensitize and inform everyone. Hey, we get political discussions, entertainment and sports if we get the money sessions. Ecko Morning Show. We dey bring come to you. TV for development nomination. Independent media house. We dey so and we dey strong. Ecko Media TV for development nomination. You like you dey home and abroad. We dey so and we dey strong. We dey so for talk about wetin dey happen. Now we country salon. We dey give you the news. Wait for the use. We also they talk about waiting they happen. Now the media defeating the lies of the fake people. Religious discussion